Hey guys, it's Aline. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back if you're not. So today we're going to be doing a dual review video. It's funny how my laptop has to make noise whenever I have to get to the talking part of the video. It's really disrespectful. Anyway, so I'm going to be reviewing the Soft Glam palette, the box, Amrezy highlighter, so I'm going to start with the Soft Glam palette. I tried my best to keep it clean, and it finally got dirty. I mean, it got dirty before, and then I cleaned it with brush cleaner, and then I got a big dark spot, and now I have black from doing my eye makeup today. Alright, yeah. This is what the palette looks like. It's in that velour suede material. It's a orangey color, an orangey tannish beigeish color. And that is to complement the warm look. I think that look really reminds me of the color Orange Soda in here. The palette. We have your 14 shades. Yeah, your 14 shades. It retails for $42 like all the other palettes that are in this similar format. And I don't recall if this is permanent or not. It's out online. It's not out officially in all stores until the 8th, which is tomorrow. I got it in stores because we weren't supposed to be selling it, and they were selling it and they didn't know that, so I bought it. Now I have it. So I have my Modern Renaissance palette, which I haven't used in a while, but it was my favorite for a long time. It looks like a hot ass mess. This is what this looks like. So burnt orange is in both shades, both burnt orange, tempera, cypress umber are in both palettes. Blonde, fresco, and dusty rose do look similar to each other. Those are really the similarities I see. I would say maybe you could say glancing that maybe fairy or glistening from the Soft Glam palette might look close to Primavera, but those when you swatch it looks very yellow, like a very yellow gold. And glistening, it's like more of a peachy gold. It's really pretty though. The only thing, so I feel like still I get more kick up with the Soft Glam palette than I did with the Modern Renaissance. Though the Modern Renaissance does give quite a bit of kick up, and I think there's only one particular color that's giving me a lot of kick, well, potentially two, and that's going to be Sultry and Bronze. Sultry, I've had this palette for maybe just over a week, and it really has a big dent in it, and that's because a lot of the shadow kicks up. It is my favorite color to wear. But yeah, and also I feel like the shadow looks prettier in the pan than almost it does on the lid, just because in the pan I can see that there's like some flecks that are reflecting blue, but when I put it on and when I swatch it I don't see them. I feel like you can do a range of looks with this palette, whether you want to keep it just very neutral or you want to take it more full-on dramatic. This palette can do both. I feel like you could also do that with Modern Renaissance as well, but I feel like the Modern Renaissance, if like those purples and the reds can take it dramatic real quick, where you have more leeway with these colors, the reds. The only thing is that at first glance when I looked at this palette I didn't think it would do much for me because I have not a dark skin tone but of a darker skin tone, and I didn't think, like, Orange Soda is the same color as my skin. It doesn't really show up on me, but it's a good color if I needed to blend out other colors, so I don't mind it. I don't really use tempera. I mean, okay, I used it probably to set, I used it a little bit in the Modern Renaissance, and I don't really use Dusty Rose, and I probably use Blonde Fresco in here like once. So I used Cypress Umber a lot in Modern Renaissance just because they didn't have any other dark brown, and I haven't touched it in Soft Glam palette yet, so there's that, but eventually I will. So I want to touch on the fact that there are a lot of shades that are not only from other palettes like the Modern Renaissance, but they're also permanent to their single shadows just in general. And Norvina, Anastasia's daughter and also the person in charge of the product development, she said that she wants this to be everyone's everyday palette. So if it's going to be your everyday palette, if you want to like hit pan on certain colors before others, so she wants you to be able to replace those colors without having to buy back the entire palette, which makes sense, and I find that to be very fair. You don't want to, like, people come into Sephora looking like, do you have a shade that matches this one shade that I ran out of in this palette? You know, it's kind of annoying to have to buy back the whole thing just because you want to get that one color that was your favorite. So that makes a lot of sense to me. So the highlighter, I really like this packaging. It reminds me of the blush trios. I feel like a lot of things that came in this package from Anastasia Soft didn't get, so I'm glad we got these. So as for the highlight, this highlighter reminds me of her other illuminators that came in singles. I only have the peach nectar one. That's what the packaging looks like. It's round. This one is square. Not really square, but yeah, it's a different shape. Put this back. Peach nectar, and it reminds me because it has that same baked formula that Estee Lauder Gelées have, the max extra dimensional finish, extra dimension skin finish products have, the Makeup Forever Pro Fusion highlighters have, where like you don't really get fallout with these products. Look at that one. That's the color of my foundation. It's really dark, but yeah. I don't know why I don't use this color more. It's really pretty. That seems to be exactly the same. I'm not talking about product wise. I'm just talking like texture wise and performance wise. Like if it wasn't for the color, the actual finish and application looks exactly the same. Okay, so now I'm gonna put powder on my face. I should have got my powder out first. Okay. And the only reason why I'm showing this part and I didn't do it off camera like I did the rest of my face is because on the box of the Amrezy highlighter, does she talk about it? Well, I don't know. I just know that she talks about the amount of powder you put on your face to get the optimal amount of glow from your highlighter. So I'm gonna see if I can do that and still try to keep myself matte. So I'm using the Too Faced Peach Perfect mattifying powder. I put a lot of powder all over my face, but I feel like I didn't put a lot where I'm gonna highlight. It was either under my eyes or below. Highlight, I'm going to do my eyes, so I'm gonna do the Soft Glam palette. I've been keeping this palette in the box so I wouldn't get it dirty, even though I did stain it and I tried to clean it with the brush cleaner. And I got a dark spot for my pupils. So yeah. one's in this Dose of Color crease brush that no longer has any writing on it. That's how much I use it. I'm gonna take the shade Burnt Orange. And that's going in my crease. I thought I was doing a voiceover, but I guess I'm not. Psych, I am doing a voiceover, so I'm gonna keep building up this eyeshadow just really to define the shape that I want for my eyeshadow look, and also to give enough of a color, not too much, just enough that it'll give something for the other colors to diffuse out to. And next I'm gonna be taking the shade Sienna, and that's gonna be the main crease shade. That's going a little bit lower than Burnt Orange. Next I'm taking the shade Mulberry, and that's going to be focused on the outer V part of my eye. Now I'm going in with the shade Noir, which is the black. I'm going to keep this shade pulled even tighter than the Mulberry just because it's the darkest color, and I'm going to go in with another brush to blend it out. Next I'm taking the shade Sultry, and that's going on majority of my lid, just like the inner third is going to be empty for another color. But that's going from Noir all the way to just almost to my tear duct. Now I'm taking Rose Pink, and I'm putting that on the blank space we have in that inner third. Now I'm taking all the matte shades we use, and I'm putting that on my lower lash line in order of how I use them. So I'm starting with Burnt Orange. No, I think I skipped Burnt Orange. I'm going in with Sienna, then Mulberry, then just a little bit of Noir. Now I'm taking the shade Bronze, and I'm putting that on top of the Rose Pink. I've been using this shade almost every time I wear this palette in conjunction with Sultry, and I tried not to this time, but I just needed something on top of it to make it pop. And now I'm applying my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. So that's the finished look with my Soft Glam palette. I'm gonna get into the highlighter now. So I have my ABH, look at the fingerprints all over this. ABH Amrezy highlight. You can actually see it and not the grossness that is all over it. And then so that looks like pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna apply it. Okay, so I cleaned up my brush that I want to use so I don't have any. Just missed the initial application. Dang it. But yeah, this is my brush touching my face once. So that's a lot. So You guys missed me saying that I cleaned off my highlighter brush, so there was no other highlight on here. I like to wear this highlighter on top of other highlighters, just because it can look a little... Let's compress deeper into the skin. It can look like a little stark, I'm gonna say. What do you guys think? So that's it by itself on this side, and I'm gonna apply it on top of another highlighter on this side. Brush you use makes a difference, because when I was using a different brush and I applied it, I used this when I was using this brush, which is my favorite brush to apply highlighter. It wasn't doing it for me. Yesterday I applied it with this Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder in the shade Crown of My Canopy on top. Under, so I'm gonna put that under again and then put the Amrezy highlighter on top. I did wonder, because I did see Jaclyn Hill's video about applying highlighter with a sponge. So maybe I'm gonna just rub my beauty blender that I use for my foundation in here. Oof. Just see. This line that this is giving me, not. It's maybe not this beauty blender. This particular sponge. I would use a regular beauty blender. And that out with the brush. Always when I have to film, like, I don't get it. It was silence all day. But yeah, I definitely like both of these products. This highlighter is nice, especially if you want to layer it, because it doesn't have too much of a gold base, so it's not going to really look too ashy on you. It can be just a little stark, but you can always blend it out. And as for the highlight, if you don't like warm shades, then I wouldn't suggest it. And if you have a lot of warm shades and you're not using them, I wouldn't suggest it. I need to make eye contact with the camera. Stop looking at myself. And if you're not, if you don't have a lot of warm palettes, or if you don't mind another one, then I would definitely say go for this palette. It's definitely worth the $42. You'll get a lot of use out of it. The colors are beautiful, and the quality is on par with normal Anastasia eyeshadows. So both of these products get thumbs up for me. If there's anything else you guys would like to see me review or do, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave and turn on the notification bell so you guys can come back. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.